Hey,
Hi guys.
hello world with Willie Rollis, Biznet.
Zombie Units
Got
of Leading
some
Marketing
units.
Solutions.
All right. Wanted to hop on the live, before they shut everything down and force everybody to stay in their houses. As you know, Governor DeSantos basically issued a statement saying a stay-at-home warrant, making sure that after midnight tonight, unless you're an essential worker or you got, you're going to get some groceries so you stay alive, taking care of your family, cannot leave
Medical
your
clinics.
medical clinics, can't leave the house. So definitely wanted to interact with y'all one more last time before that happened. So
Before we could no longer do this.
right. Just wanted to touch base. A lot of different businesses are being affected right now for the COVID-19 spread, and some unfortunately have closed their doors and went out, and some have gone out of business. But I wanted to jump on here today and tell you guys that you do not, if you're able to continue to service your business, service individuals remotely and still, or within 6 feet, of the recommended limit, you can still operate and still produce income for your family, your employees, and still stay relevant in the market. Could continue to, right now, a lot of people are contracting. Instead of completely contracting, you can reduce somewhat, but you still want to be putting a message out there. Still letting people know that you're open, because they think a lot of people are closed. If you're essential, you want to make it known that you are open and you're ready to serve them.
Right. And then also, even for companies that may not be able to provide their usual services or products, this is a time to really innovate and see what else you can really provide to the audience, whether it's something that your target audience would need right now because of this crisis,
Right.
or even just in general, something that your team can do that maybe you weren't really focusing on, but maybe now is the time with the shift to online, everything online, right? Maybe consider some new ways that you can really service your audience in a different way as well.
Right, and going digital, a lot of people are using Zoom in order to have that, it's not face-to-face, but you can see the person and you can see their expression, how they're interacting with you, as well as putting out a message out there on social media, letting them know how you're innovating and how you're going to able to service them, the safety practices that you're using in order to make sure not only you stay safe, your family stays safe, but the customers stay safe at the same time. And giving them that peace of mind that, when you come to service them, that there's limited or no interaction, and they're able to get what you're offering to them, and still stay safe.
Right, absolutely. So what have you found as far as some businesses that are innovating? I know that you've been interviewing some.
Right.
What have you found that has been kind of like very original that you were impressed by?
We had some awesome people on, the quarantine innovation show so far, but some cool things. Ben Marciano at Zone Health and Fitness. He's one gym owner that has really stepped up. He started innovating right out the gate.
Yeah.
He started, implementing on Facebook Lives. His staff really got on board with the whole innovation. Doing Zooms in order to meet with their personal training clients, and they jumped on it right out the gate. They were ahead of the game in terms of, buying a lot of that disinfectant, showing corporate social responsibility to the community, and sharing that with the community at no cost.
Right.
Showing that heart for, even though everybody is being affected, showing that heart and doing that humanistic feel.
Exactly.
Knowing that, we're not only here to generate income, but we're here to make sure you stay healthy and you're able to continue to live a healthy lifestyle. A lot of individuals are utilizing Zoom. So Zoom stock is jumping right now.
Zoom's the place to be.
Right. Zoom is doing very well. It's a great alternative. If you have an iPhone, she doesn't have an iPhone. She has an Android, so.
Sorry.
Right. If you have an iPhone, You can FaceTime. You can utilize Zoom. There's other things you can do, like Facebook has a video as well as WhatsApp.
Google Hangouts.
Google Hangouts. There's so many different ways you can, interact with that person in a more intimate setting as opposed to just talking to them over the phone or texting. A lot of individuals are implementing strategy like that. Restaurants that never really were takeout friendly, they're really innovating in order to offer that takeout so they can continue to, it's not as great as, when doors were open and they had dine-in, but they're able to still, generate some revenue by, offering that service as well. Another thing I've noticed, showing that you're taking the necessary steps to cut back on, the COVID spread. Like a lot of individuals are showing, like on video, we're spraying down equipment, we're going out, we're really making sure our establishment is clean, and that really goes a long way in terms of seeing it.
Yeah.
Peace of mind for the customer.
So some people are kind of finding it, I guess, maybe a little aggressive to be marketing during this time because of the struggles that everyone is facing, kind of the uncertainty or even financial challenges. Right. What do you say to that?
I'd say, if your business, you're essential, or your business not being affected by this, you have a magnificent opportunity right now. It's like you're the only person or very few people in the auction right now, the Facebook auction, and you're able to get in front of so many people that are on their phones. The usage is jumping. It's going up by a large percentage. So you're able to get in front of those individuals that may be still able to purchase your services, your product or services. Right. This is a great opportunity to continue to advertise, to establish your brand in the market, and give people a sense of what your brand stands for, that you're still open and you're still offering that particular product or service. Right. And that you're, even though, a lot of individuals are going through stuff, showing that you care. It's not only about the money. You want to make sure that you still offer them, a great service in this time. So
value that they can really use.
Value that they can really use. And even if you offer a special, offer something, you know that a lot of people are struggling financially, you don't want to not make anything, but, giving them a little incentive to continue to do business with you and show that you're understanding that they're in a tough spot right now, but they're still able to, get your product or service.
Absolutely. So switching gears a little bit, I did a podcast a few days ago about working from home. And I had a lot of questions about the challenges from employers as well as employees. Right. Now shifting, this is for traditional businesses that aren't currently working as a virtual or weren't and are now shifting to the virtual environment. Do you have any tips for them as far as how to adjust? So,
it's good if when you make that shift to have like a little setup. You have your laptop set up. Probably have your printer there. Different things to make it a little officey feel. But you want to make sure that you have an area where you can think and you can get things done. Right. That's the main thing in order to continue to be productive in this time of isolation. Many people are quarantined, and you want to make sure that this is not just a time to be lazy and take this as like a big vacation, but you're actually getting things done. Whether that's a lot of stuff is going to be online based. If you're a service-based business and you cannot do anything, this is a good time to build out better systems in your business and continue to make better practices and to make sure next time this possibly happens, you can adapt more quickly, and you have a action plan in place in order to continue to operate and not take the blow you take this time.
Absolutely. Or even just investing your time in education, learning new skills, right? Getting new knowledge. Whether, like, for example, you do social media, paid advertising campaigns.
Right.
There are so many courses that even though you already know so much, you can always get better and hone your skill, right? And that applies to every single business.
Right. And I like to consider myself a constant state of evolution.
Exactly.
A never-ending process of improvement.
Right.
And with that being said, everybody should adopt that type of mentality, because if you're not getting better, if you're staying the same, you're getting worse.
And somebody else is getting better.
And somebody else is getting better. So you want to stay on the top of your game. And by staying, if you want to stay on top of your game, you have to continue to innovate. You have to continue to improve. In my industry, stuff is constantly evolving, and you have to stay ahead of everything. So stuff, new stipulations are being putting out there. Ad budgets, it's being more expensive to advertise on different platforms, and you want to have that competitive edge over your competitors. So by staying on the top of the newest trends, the different things that are going on in the market, you're able to tackle that before somebody else, and you're able to offer better service and better results because you're aware of what's going on.
Exactly. And there's so many free courses online. I was doing research. If you just go to Google and you type in free business courses, hundreds and hundreds.
Mm-hmm.
So there's really no reason for anyone to be wasting this time and not really, learning something new.
Right, and there's so much free content out there.
Yeah.
Like you can just
even YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube. Type it in on YouTube, something you're trying to learn, and YouTube is almost as good as a teacher. Some of these professors out here, they're really breaking it down, and you can really.
Well, so my brother is a college student,
Right.
and after coming home from college, he then goes to YouTube to learn more about those topics because the teachers aren't covering it as well as people on YouTube. So
Right.
it's like a college education.
Right, and sometimes they break it down more relatable.
Yeah.
Sometimes one of those professors, some professors are good. They've adapted, but some professors, they're delivering that message so formally, and
And everyone learns different.
everybody learns different.
Yeah.
So as well as innovating during this time, you know what it is. So it's, for a lot of people, innovate or die.
Yeah.
You innovate or
For
die.
everyone.
So if you're second guessing innovating right now, you're basically,
You don't have that luxury.
you don't have that luxury. It's,
Yeah.
you have a family, you may have a family to feed, you have yourself to feed. That should be motivation right there to get up and learn something. Social media, you don't necessarily have to hire experienced professionals like myself and my team, but you can start doing stuff yourself, putting out content that resonates with individuals, doing videos to the best of your ability, letting them know what's going on with you and your business,
Exactly.
staying on the mind of your
relevant.
customers and staying relevant.
Yeah. And then also, I think that there are some benefits that are also going to come out from this. Just because virtual environments are growing, even besides what's going on right now, there are already so many companies that are either working completely virtually, such as yours and mine, or there are companies that are kind of doing a hybrid model where either their employees work part-time from home, part-time from the office, or maybe some employees work from home, some work from the office, you know what I mean? But still a lot of other businesses that are kind of more used to working in a more traditional environment have kind of been maybe afraid to take that leap or even to dip their foot in, but now they kind of have to, right? So I feel like maybe what would come from this is that business owners would realize that there are so many benefits to having a virtual or at least a half virtual environment, because not only are you saving on overhead, expenses of having an office, operating an office, but you also get other benefits, such as now you're opening yourself up to a much larger pool of qualified candidates, right? So if you've only been hiring in your local area, you're eventually going to run out of people to hire, or at least qualified people to hire. But when you're working completely virtually, my marketing director, my right-hand woman, is in Texas. I have never met her, and I love this woman, and we work very well together. So a lot of the time, those kind of fears or anxiety about, well, how are we going to work without me being able to supervise my employees directly, but sometimes it actually works better because at this point, it kind of shifts from, you know, hourly work where, okay, yes, my employee's sitting there 9 to 5, I know he's here, I know he's working,
Right.
right? But now in a virtual environment, you really can't watch them like that.
Right.
Like, yes, there are time tracking apps, but someone can easily turn on a time tracking app and then go jump in the pool or whatever, you know what I mean? And it's still going. So here in this kind of virtual environment, it really jumps to outcome-based work, right?
Right.
So now it's more like, here's your project, get it done. I don't care if you get it done in 10 hours or in 30 minutes, right? That's on you, but here's how much I've allocated to this project, here is the outcome that I'm looking for, and then if your employees are not able to transition to that kind of model, and they're not delivering the outcomes that you're looking for, then that actually gives you an indication that they were probably getting the same mediocre results when working in the office as well, you know what I mean? So if anything, it kind of makes things more clear to see who has that discipline and that autonomy to be able to work by themselves.
Yeah, absolutely, and the work ethic. And people need to make the shift to, I'm getting all this time of results that are being delivered. So at this time, you can really see who's truly highly productive and drives results. Working from home, working remotely. If you're in tech, whatever industry you may be in, this time should focus on results. Focusing on continuing to move that line ahead. So when you focus on results, like that's how businesses like my own business thrives. So you're not tracking our hours. You're tracking at the end of the day, were we able to make your $1 $2 or your $2 $4 or wherever times it multiplies, but making sure that the money you put in multiplies when you get the leads, the qualified leads, and you close the business. When we're running ads for you,
Right.
and the content that we put out there, that it's increasing engagement, building your brand, and allowing individuals to really let the content resonate with your audience as you continue to build credibility.
Right. And then also, you know, just to kind of go back because I forgot something, for employees working in a virtual environment, that's a huge benefit. And studies have shown that there's actually higher job satisfaction, higher employee retention in businesses that offer those kinds of options to work from home, right? So now what it does is because those employees are saving time and expenses on commuting to the office every day, right?
Absolutely.
Now, another thing that not a lot of people think about is that it opens you up to getting candidates that would otherwise not really be able to work, such as single stay-at-home moms, right? Who don't really have the ability to do so because maybe they can't even afford the child care yet, you know what I mean? Or someone who's maybe taking care of their elderly parents, right? Those people also need work, but they're not able to maybe hire a private duty nurse. So they're staying home and they would love for a position that they can do completely from home. And sometimes they would even go for a lower hourly rate or salary just because of those extra benefits that they get, you know?
And I know, you know, some stay-at-home moms, it's not that they don't have the skills. You know, their significant other may just make that much income and could support their family, but they're very educated and they have the skills. They just chose to stay home. But they may have the urge to continue to work, but being able to still be right there with the kids and, you know, provide value to a company, that's something that you can get a highly qualified individual, you know, that their values and the things that they want are being met by continuing to interact with their kids as well as, you know, be useful to your company.
Absolutely. I think that eventually once this all dies down, and hopefully it doesn't have too catastrophic of an effect, which already it's kind of getting there in a lot of parts of our country, and it's pretty devastating. Some of my family members in New York have, you know, been diagnosed with it, so hopefully they're getting better now. So, you know, knock on wood, but there are people dying. There are a lot of people dying from this. So at first we weren't really sure, you know, whether this was just media hype or if this was real, and now it's like, wow, it's actually real, you know. But I feel like if we kind of stay positive and we keep that positive mindset, and we really just take this as a time for us to be productive, a time for us to rethink what we have been doing, like you said, and then kind of just see what we can do better. You know what I mean? And we can all come out of this better people, better business owners, and just a better environment, a better nation. You know what I mean? Because I feel like this is the time where we all pull together and we all just kind of help each other.
Right, and you know, with the way this COVID-19 virus is attacking so many different people, this is really making it more humanistic issue. It's not whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever you may be, ethnic background. This virus does not discriminate from your ethnicity, your background, your religion, your race.
Right. And not even age anymore. We used to think that it was just for the older people. Children, babies are getting it now.
Not your age. You could be, you know, whatever age, you can be affected by this virus, and you can fall sick. So this should make businesses really double down on what core values, what problems they're trying to solve, what impact. So we're really, that's something we really double down on this year, the impact we're trying to make in individuals' lives.
Right.
So focusing on the impact, making somebody better, whether that's physically, mentally, financially, emotionally, you're able to make their quality of life better.
Right.
So that's something that
every business owner should be doing and thinking, because that's the reason that we started, right? It's because we don't want to just have a job where we go to work and then we come home and we forget. It's because we want to create something that's going to last beyond ourselves, right?
Right. And you know, the impact you may have on somebody's life, it's a ripple effect.
Absolutely.
You're able to affect, you know, not only them, their children, the people they come in contact with. Your message and the things that you may have done for them can reach, you know, hundreds of thousands, depending on what that person decides to do with what you gave them.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would say, you know, there's a lot going on right now. We know a lot of people are scared. You know, our governing officials are taking the actions that they see necessary in order to slow this thing down. So right now there's not necessarily a cure, but they're trying to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
You know, the nation is bleeding, the whole world is bleeding right now, but they're trying to not let us bleed out. We have to make it through this as one. So we have to all take the necessary steps in order to, you know, slow this thing down, let our healthcare professionals treat the ones that are sick, you know, our scientists and doctors come up with a cure, give them time, and this is what we're doing. You know, it may seem like we're doing something very little, but we're buying time for us to have a legitimate way to go to battle against this COVID-19.
It's up to every single one of us to stop the spread, right?
Yes.
So just stay home and just work on ourselves, because that's the only way that we're going to get through this. As heartbreaking as it is that we're going to have to be home for at least a month, maybe more, I think that it's absolutely necessary, and I'm glad that this is happening finally.
Right, and this, we know it's having a humongous, enormous financial effect on a lot of individuals, but this is when it goes back to the impact. So it's deeper than just finances. So it's about the lives. So the lives of individuals. Without people, you can't do business. So this is something that we need to do in order to move forward. And everybody wants to go back to the way their lives were, to continue to get better. And we have to do, even if we have to take a step back, to take 2 steps forward, we have to do what we have to do.
It's survival stuff.
And we can do more than just survive right now, which
We can thrive.
we can thrive. There's a lot of things that we can do. All the hard work that's put in the dark has to come to light. So while you're in isolation, you're working from home, you can come out a better marketer of your business. You can come out more with more efficient productivity habits. You can come out with better systems, and your business could be more efficient. As an individual, you could come out with better health because you're really focusing on working out, taking care of your mental health, making sure you're keeping things in check that you probably haven't dealt with.
Right. We're always too busy for everything,
Too
right?
busy.
Well, we're not anymore.
You know, your family, you know, you may have been a business owner that you've really been putting in the grind, and your spouse or your kids or your other family members have, you know, unfortunately been neglected because of the grind. You're able to invest in them and find ways that even when this starts back up, you're able to still nurture those
Retain
relationships.
new habits, exactly.
Yeah. I'd like to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, everybody who's tuned in. We know we're gonna make it through this strongly, and we're gonna take the necessary steps. We both have been quarantined. People are probably warning, or we're not 6 feet apart, but we have been quarantined and taking the necessary precautions. But we know this message is important to put out there, and we want to make sure that you all receive it.
Stay home.
Stay home, stay safe. And
We'll get through this.
We'll get through this. Thank you for tuning in, and
Thank you, guys.
we'll see you soon. Take care.
See you soon.